Welcome everyone to our Channeling Dragons events for our Elemental Realm series. Wendy Napolitano and myself, Susan Mulhern, we will be sharing some light language, doing some channeling of the dragons, and sharing stories. Other people here that have dragon connections as well can join in with light language and sharing their experiences with the dragons as well. And today is November 5th, 2022. So Wendy's going to get us started with a violet flame clearing and grounding.
Yes. So basically what's happened is it has really come into my awareness that black magic is strong at work. So we just had the recent solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. What am I trying to say? And what is that? Sorry, somebody's put something in chat. And so anyway, so those energies are here and they are having an effect. And as people are coming up for healing, some of this dark stuff is coming up to be released. It's coming into your awareness, and some of the ancient lives that may be connected and may be connected to your dragon life, to your dragon self. Whether you were, a dragon who was, a negative dragon or a dragon that was a positive dragon in a past life, like that kind of stuff might be coming up. Also, just past lives in general are coming up for clearing, and collective energy is also coming up, because as we go higher and higher in our frequency, that lower stuff has to go somewhere. So it has to, it has to come up to be cleared. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be helping you with grounding, with doing a clearing with the violet flame. I do have a dragon my dragon Quanon, who is represented here by the blue. He is a blue dragon, and he uses violet flame, and he assists me in a lot of my healing work and sessions that I do. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask you to please take in a deep breath and then breathe out. And then another deep breath. And then breathe out. And now on this next third deep breath, I want you to go ahead and imagine the violet flame coming up through the base of your feet. And we're just going to go to the crown first and then circle back down to the ground for this third breath. Go ahead and do this breath now. Deep breath. And then down. And now what I'd like you to do is imagine that the violet flame is coming up the left side of your body, bringing it up the left foot. Mother Gaia is helping us, assisting with this. Saint Germain and Mount Shasta, where the violet flame is held with the crystals, bringing that up through your knee, through your hip. At the waist, I want you to cross over to the right side of your body, and then coming up your torso to the neck, to the top of the head. And then we're just going to let it sprinkle out into the ethers like a fountain. No place of time exists there. We're all in the here and the now. Bringing that violet flame back down on the left side. As it hits your torso, it will automatically go up and down your arms, coming down the left side of your body, crossing over once more to the right side. I'm feeling those chills and tingles as this energy is moving, coming down your right hip, your thigh, your knee, your calf, your foot, and down into Mother Gaia. Taking a deep breath. Hold it in your heart space for the count of 3. And release. Now, as you're breathing, the breath of the oxygen goes throughout all the cellular structure. It's carried by the blood from your heart, pumps it through all your veins and into all the cells. So wherever you've got blocked energy, it's going to start to release and open as this violet flame transmutes and works through your body. Taking another breath. Up the left side, cross to the right, out into the ethers, back down to the left side, cross to the right again, back down into the ground. Breathe out nice and long. And if you feel that energy needing to move, just go ahead and make a sound, breathing it out. And now I'm going to ask Kwanan to assist everybody who is currently listening, who will watch in the future at any time, flaming away not only through their physical body, any energies, but also in their etheric body. So think of it as your auric field. Now, if you've worked with me before, you know that a lot of times when I'm clearing energy, I do take these deep breaths in and out. I oftentimes can't control them when it's a lot of energy being moved. So that's what was just happening. So again, we've got future viewers watching this as well, who may have just stumbled onto this video. And so I am moving their energy as well, assisting with moving their energy. They, of course, are doing the majority of the work. And then dragons want to go ahead and channel some light language through me right away. And it's Kwanan. Okay, so he's telling me that he's actually assisting with the requests that we began with. So starting in with healing for balance, that was sent out. And actually somebody had asked for spilling and healing on the, can't even spit it out, they're trying to still come through me, through the spine, that energy was sent out to, and heart clearing as well. And then many of you know that I'm also Archangel Raziel, and Raziel is wanting to step through and do a little bit of angelic light language for you. And this is more because the dragon, the healing from the dragon can be very strong, and it can show up as a wave of heat, a wave of sickness, and like nausea can show up. And so the angelic light language is going to assist with softening it in the body, softening it in the physical, softening it in the energy around you. And then take a breath and release. So while we're grounded, the violet flame will just go ahead and continue through you. You don't have to think about it anymore. When we are done with our channeling and our event today, any opening and connection, we'll go ahead and clear it and cut cords and all that good stuff at the end. So you don't have to worry about like carrying anybody else's energy with you afterwards. So we thank you. We welcome you into our space here today. And if anybody else would like to do light language or yeah, light language. Anybody else at this time? Susan, I know you've got baby dragons, or probably, I just heard baby dragons. Baby dragons probably want to come through and like be a little like bring the joy back real quick. Make sure you're not muted.
Thank you for the reminder to unmute myself. Yeah, so I have 3 baby dragons named Alicia, Gracine, and Trador that are basically the children of my dragon guide, I'm blanking on her name. Altia, thank you. And also the king, she's a white dragon of the north, and then the father is the king of the white dragons of the north, Donner, who some know about. And so yeah, so the baby dragons have been around me, and they like to come through with their light language. So I will ask them to do so now. Tessica, tatuia, ia, suku, ya, isiki, ia, sukutu, hai, tu, itia. Hi, ko, siga, yoko, ya, sikitia, o, siki, o, sikatakia, o, sikata, ho, tia, zia, ko, da delia, ko, azia, ia, huti, hai, ko, hazikia, ia, sukuya, sukia, we express our joy, sukutoya, to share it with you. Ia saka haia tudo hui kia ia tuki ai sukuto tate ia eta hosika ia to hiki ai sukuto ia be more in your heart skota ia hosika kia ia sukuya ia there you will find your peace skoto tai ai tiki e tukututu haizia ko ia kia ia we are very curious about your race ko hoia ti hasika ia sukuto ia sika fukuto for we have interacted with humanity for millennia. So kuto haya titi aku iti aka haya tu sikata ti usaka kia ko ya tai ko ya yesiki ai so ko yo to ko ya I yesikuto ya itai kuto iti you can ask yourself to be a mentor of the baby dragon so kuto of your own sikata ti usika ho to yi kia to ko yesikati ai yes we are learning from these interactions to better assist humanity. Yes, as we mature in our gifts. Yes, come play with us. And sing your loving songs to your beloved mother Gaia. Blessings and much love. Oh my goodness.
So I don't know about you guys, but when the vibrations start to get really high, I get giggly. So it just makes me laugh. That happens with the fairy light language too. So okay, clearing, there it goes. Does anybody else have any light language that they would like to share?
I will.
Thank you so much.
This one's from Graha. He's a white dragon prince from the north. With a healing blessing for all of us. Kia konya haya garado, ia ganya haya gorodo, ia nyo, kia karatonya ha. Kia nyoho, kia karato, ia nyo, I haya karatonya, ia gonya haya koratonya, ia nya, oh. Namaste. Ooh.
Beautiful. Thank you, Graha. Thank you, Michelle.
I'd like to share something. My dragon is Zeb. I don't know a lot about him, but he's very deep, dark blue colour. And his scales shimmer with a lighter shades of blue and green. Makes me think of like a mermaid's tail almost. So yeah, he wants to come through with something. Thank you.
Now, Wilma, do you get any sense of what he was bringing through?
No. I'm sort of getting a start of a feeling, but I haven't quite got it yet.
Yeah. So basically what I'm getting is that he was also assisting with the healing and heart healing as well. So dragons have a dragon heart.
Yeah,
and encouraging everyone to reach into and look for their dragon heart, their courage, their strength, because difficult times are coming. They won't be bad, not to be in fear, but to help you with your challenges and be courageous. That's what the dragon heart is helping you with.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
So, and that's a telepathic connection that I will get. So thank you. Beautiful. Any others? Okay, I'm not seeing anything in chat. And so, let's see, dragon story. Okay, so a recent dragon story that we have had. When we were in Mount Shasta, we had water dragons around us. We had earth dragons, air dragons, and of course, fire dragons. And now some of the dragons have a multi-elemental dimensional self to them. Some of them are like earth, fire, some are air, water. So they'll have like multiple elements, but typically dragons will not have all 4 elements within them. So I have 2 baby dragons here in my house, and they're water dragons, and it's Liam and Lynn. And basically what they assist me with is going with the flow. And that was, I think, early this year when the baby dragons came here to me to be, you know, because what it is it's like they're younglings. And so they are, I want to say in like earth school. So it's kind of like they want to like learn about us, like see like how we deal with things, and if they can help us, and then also to help us to connect like with telepathically with them, and to, you know, just really kind of feel their energy. So okay, so my earth dragon story. While we were in Mount Shasta, we were getting water at the Sacramento headwaters, and Joan had her singing bowl and she was cleaning it, and then there were these rocks that she saw that had lit up. So while you're in the flow and in the zone, right, there's a lot of times that people may have that third eye connection, and so you'll see things and be like, oh, am I seeing that? Is anybody else experiencing that? And so when she was seeing that, she says, it's lighting up, she kept saying. And I was looking, I was like, well, I'm not really seeing it lighting up, but if you're saying it's lighting up. So I was like, really? Which ones? So anyway, so she got a couple of the rocks that were lighting up. She's like, okay, here's a rock for you, and here's a rock, you know, here's a rock for me, because they're lighting up and we're going to take this energy with us. So then what I ended up doing is I somehow I put my rock with Joan's things, and so she had it and she sent it to me. It's disappeared in my house. I have no idea where it is in my house. But while we were there, just above the rocks, I was like looking, and when I was looking, all of a sudden I saw the face of this earth dragon, and it was like literally like just right there where the waters were coming out. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's an earth dragon right there. So then we got all excited and we were taking photos and we did a little video and stuff of the earth dragon. And then when Joan had sent me, you know, it's just a little rock, you know, fit in my hand. And when I got it, I don't know, I felt drawn to like put it under the water. And then when I did, I could like really smell this earthy, wet moistness, just like, you know, like wet earth. And so I was like, oh, wow, that's like, it had just such a beautiful like fragrance. Like it's still in my mind, like how it smelled. So anyway, so I took it, and then I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then I went and I set it down on my coffee table with, you know, with my crystal skulls and that. And then I forgot about it. Like it just, you know, it dried out and it sat there. Now I thought that's where it was, but apparently I walked around with it and I have no idea where I put it. So anyway, a couple of days later, I had walked into my family room, and all of a sudden, wham, I was hit with that fragrance. Like it just like overwhelmed me. And I went, whoa. And I looked over at the rock, and I just happened to be, letting my dog outside. And so I opened the patio door and I came back, and then I went and grabbed that rock, and I was like, wow, is that really from this rock? Stuck it under my nose. Of course it was dry. It didn't have any kind of a fragrance or scent whatsoever. So I was like, okay, that was really weird. So then I set it back down, and then I was, of course, drawn right back to Mount Shasta and where it came from, and the water drag, or the earth dragon rather. And so then we were channeling, and I was like, yeah, like, why did I smell that rock again? And then what came up during channeling was that there was an earth dragon which was the earth dragon that we had seen right there at the headwaters, that wanted us to not forget the earth dragon and the work that they're doing on the land, that as the waters are taking several years to travel down the mountains, that they guard that journey through the earth. And so the water, when it comes out, it has that beautiful, pure clarity to it. And then, of course, we had the water dragons there, and we were doing some ceremony work there with the water dragons too. So it's just sending light and love, right? So if you guys ever want to send light and love to the earth dragons and the water dragons, they will definitely appreciate your blessings and your love and encouragement and thinking about them, right? So anyway, so I was like, wow, that's really cool. And so then next time I was like, I think Susan, you and I were channeling at the time, and I said, hey, what's the earth dragon's name? And then we got that it's Andaris. And then a couple of days ago, Andaris was like getting me messages again. And I was like, okay, like you are connecting with me ahead of time, like in prep, I think, for today. So just having that awareness to, the earth dragons, and that, that they really are doing work with our earth and assisting us with those energies. And so when you're feeling that kind of drawn to, be outside and be on the ground, that you've probably got an earth dragon, or maybe it's a gnome calling you to connect. So that's my earth dragon story. Does anybody else have a dragon story that they'd like to share?
I just felt like sending the dragons healing today, so I did that today while I was out trying to catch some sunlight. Can I do a little light language?
Yes, we'd love to have you do some. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yana ziaranzia turaka. Yatarazan zuku hanjatun yarata en yewahaturaki. Itaramani and hasha. Kila mahaturushiki kiasananje. Tela mahania hakurushin jukur ni waha. Tela mahaturushin jukur ni he yarashoko. Etarazanza hanahama aku kuchanja ni haratun jukur ni mahana ni tiashaka. And earlier I saw a vision of two dragons intertwining like the DNA, how it intertwines in a spiral, when I was talking to Sue earlier. So that was really cool.
Yes, that's very cool. And a lot of times, I don't know if you guys ever look up in the clouds and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I see a dragon up there in that sky. Like I can see the face, and sometimes you'll see the wings. Well, what's happening is that the condensation, because they're 4-dimensional and higher, they will collect that water, like water droplet energy. And so the clouds, they're able to use the droplets from the clouds. So then that way you're able to like see them. And then of course there are dragons that assist with different things. Your air dragons, obviously, with, moving energy, clearing the air, literally. And then your water dragons helping to support the water and helping with, clearing, for any pollution that's in that water. And then also your other beings that live within the water. You've got your fire dragons who are, volcanic energy. And so there's always clearing, fire. If there's fire, there's cleansing that's happening. So they're very good for that. So if you've got any like energy that's around, like maybe you've got negative energy around you, or, maybe you talk to people and you like, afterwards you're like, ew, I just have a creepy feeling. Then that's definitely a time when you should call on your fire dragon or ask a fire dragon to assist you. you. And then the dragons of the north have that cold air that they'll blow in. And so I don't know, Susan, you might know a little more on the dragons of the north. I know that you work with Donner a lot, and
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about, yeah, I mean, as far as the cold element part of it, but
Yeah.
I did, yeah, earlier today I connected with a new earth dragon. I was actually talking to David when he was seeing the two dragons spiraling. I was speaking some light language from a new earth dragon who gave the name of Centauri. And that I got that he's under the region, like more in the UK. And Wendy and I are talking about going to Ireland and Scotland next year. And he kind of made it known, like, you know, we've had many lifetimes working together, and then this is a time for to make himself known, kind of thing. But he was very powerful. So I'll see if he wants to come through with some light language as well. But I know Joan commented in the chat that she can do some dragon light language. So go ahead, Joan. We would love to hear it.
Thank you. There's my fire and water dragon. Arakurusi karatisi sutsurakarutsusi urana urara tsitala karutala kikita urara chisishula tu tonala oniki kura shito hatatu tokada kichikatu. Namaste.
So do you get the sense of what your fire and water dragon is giving a message of?
No, just usually just I always ask them for just a steam clean me.
Steam clean. Gotcha.
Yeah, so everyone gets steam and cleaned. Thank you.
Awesome.
They also help with the passion of the flow. So if you think about that fire, the lava flows, and with water, you know, if you think about like a creek or a river, if there's a rock or an obstacle in the way, it finds a way around it. And so that's the energy of the fire water dragon. So they'll definitely help out with, you know, any of those kinds of like clearing obstacles out. And as Joan was saying, steam clean. So that was very nice energy. Thank you, Joan.
Do the dragon like China food, steam vegetables?
You know, I would say so. And you know, also I'm aware that the red dragons are actually typically associated with China, with the Orient, I should say, not just specifically with China, but the fire energy is there, and maybe they need it there. I don't know. You know, there's so much for us to learn and so much for us to absorb that that these times when we can get together and share information and do channeling is always a blessing. So I'm not sure about the steamed vegetables, but maybe. Do you know?
Well, I am connected or visit them and heal the dragons in China for a year. I know one of the leaders' name is Gundush. They are red dragons of a beautiful red color, not like connected to brown, but the real, like typical, beautiful red China dragons. They are not favorable to humans. They are in fourth dimension and they do not like humans. And they don't work with humans in positive way. So yes, I know them.
Yeah.
So, but the future maybe the future they will turn into light, but they're at this point they like to walk. They are very military oriented. They are based on that kind of structure. They are not really benevolent. But I still go there in astral, and they accepted me as the babysitter for the dragons, for their children. And that was already my dragon partner. They didn't let him get in, but they allow me. So I go there in astral, and I am with the babies, with the children, and they see me as a fairy. Of course, I'm in my original dragon form, not a human, otherwise that would be not allowed. And they see me as a dragon fairy. So I am teaching them, and they like to play with the bone, like you throw the bone, like, you know, like you would throw with the children, like with the dog, maybe.
With the dog, right.
Yeah, but you cannot really compare a dog to the dragon,
Right,
but kind of like that. And they are very sweet. And when I was giving them healing for the grown-ups, and I was asking the father Gundush about, well, whoever wanted the healing, they accepted, but generally they're not interested. But interestingly, his son, Oha, he wanted to have a healing. So the father was like, he doesn't know. But his son, Oha, came and said to him, he wants a healing. So that was very fascinating, that they let the child to have a healing if they do not prefer to accept. So it was a very interesting situation. I was healing them for a year, the China dragons, and this year, and next year I will be healing all dragons, red dragons in the universe. That is for the
beautiful.
Next year. Yeah, my mother.
Well, maybe that's where the lead-in is through the younglings, that their hearts are going to be more open, because as our frequencies start to get higher, that perhaps their frequencies will as well for those red dragons. So yeah, very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Anyone else have a story? Nope.
Well, I could talk about our relationship with Satira. So I had I had a past life regression end of July by a mutual friend of ours, and initially I saw a vision more like in etheric, where I was flying with a group of like 4 other dragons is what it felt like. But then I came down into the first lifetime, and I looked to the left of me, and I was flying next to kind of a rosy red, like a deep rose red dragon with like bright green, like spring colored green eyes. And I could sense her sense of concern. And I felt like there was like 2 babies with us. But because I saw myself in human form once we landed, but I didn't see the babies. I just sensed them that she had 2 babies. And so I felt like it was like medieval time based on what I was dressed as, like long, like black hair, wavy black hair, and was wearing like a blue medieval type of dress. And anyways, and then it kind of flashed, and I felt like I was trying to hide her and the babies, basically, or find a hiding spot for us. And so we landed first like in a secluded forest, and then I saw that the next place where we stayed was kind of like an inlet off of a lake, and there was kind of like canyon walls on either side, but then the canyon kind of lowered into like a beach at the end of this inlet, and it was like a private beach, and the sky was kind of like a light pink or purple, like either dusk or dawn. And so I was leaning against the chest of Satira, the female dragon, the mother, and fell asleep, because we were in a safe place. And then later on, I saw myself speaking to like 30 villagers, kind of in a medieval village. saying like, stand by your dragons, don't let these outsiders have you turn against your dragon clans, and, protect your dragon, something to that effect. And I saw my father with my younger sister, which was Wendy, is what I got, standing in the crowd while I was giving the speech, and Wendy had kind of like long dark hair like I did. And then I jumped ahead, and I was like married and had a couple sons and had a husband, and I felt like we had a large estate where our dragons were protected then, where I didn't have to worry about that, and it was very safe and loving, and I saw myself at the end of that lifetime with like 2 sons at like my deathbed and stuff. Anyways, and Wendy by my deathbed. Anyways, but I felt like I fulfilled my mission of like protecting our dragon clan or whatever. But then probably like a week later, I know I attended, I think that's Philip who's on this call, Philip Barrow's healing call that he has with Deb and Rick Purcell. And I was asking about, to get a scan of this past life and what they were picking up about it, and that there was 2 babies, and they said, well, you were one of the babies. And right before they said it, like that idea popped in my head, I wonder if I was one. And then I said, well, I saw myself as human, but I sensed there was 2 babies there. And they said, well, you were a shape-shifting dragon who could shift between the human and dragon form, which not a lot of people can do. And I felt like Wendy, as my younger sister, also had that ability, or she was a shape-shifting dragon. Satira was our mother. Like it all kind of made sense then. And because I got the word bonded, like I was bonded to Satira, and felt that close, like motherly type relationship or feeling from her, and the love and everything. And so anyways, so that's kind of
Yes.
a more recent, I guess, dragon experience is learning that knowledge, as well as I keep like today, I with Centauri, the Earth Dragon, I keep having new connections show up with the dragons. And I have several different dragon guides, Ulrich, my new Earth Dragon, and like Altia and Donner, the White Dragons in the North, and Eonor of the Galactic Dragons, and Flipchakar, who is an ancient shape-shifting dragon lord as well, the Galactic Dragon Lord. And so it's interesting. The more you open up to the dragons, and they're here to assist us with our ascension process at this time, as we're open to reconnecting with them and increasing our awareness of their presence. And so it's a beautiful, loving relationship with all my dragons. So
yeah, that is very true. Yeah, that was a funny one to come up. And yeah, I've had several dragons now. I've written them down, and I had so many of them. I'm like, well, but the only handful of them that I can think of off the top of my head is, Sheena Ra, and of course Ulrich, and then also Rock. And Sheena Ra is a golden galactic dragon, and Rock is a silver dragon. So last year in the summertime is when Rock said, I want you to start working with me as a silver dragon. So a lot of times my information, the way they give it to me is like, it's not time yet. So I kind of like blink in and out of information sometimes with the dragons. Like I'll just have a knowing about something, and then I'll just know that that's what it is. And other times, like they won't tell me. Like it's like you can't know that information yet. I'm like, why? But you know what? It's all in divine timing, and it's my soul journey, and so I just trust it. But I will go ahead and if you're open to that, Susan, I can go ahead and do a channeled message and see like who wants to come through and do a channeled message out of our Dragon Clan friends.
Yeah, and go ahead if you're feeling it, and then I can go after you if
Right. And so a lot of times when I get ready to channel, I'll like just take a few breaths, and then I'll do light language, and then it'll just snap right into channeling, because as soon as I start doing light language, then my channel is open, and then I have access to the beings that want to come through at that time. So just asking for pure truth coming in from God, asking for his guidance and protection over my channeling, that my messages will be clear. Anawiranya et Koreanara, Ekigurani et Kriara, it Koreanara, it Kriara, it Koreanari, it Kri, it Turina Mata, Krira, near it Koreana, it Yara, it up to Giat. Ushijamara, Nyonya Kara, near Tira Kara. Orniera kiera niora koro niera cara ara niera tiro niera nioro niara niora. Qua iniejo anara caira tu ni chiara ca ogni chiesa no cuara. Ka onyera ka ara ka adenyoro to ko ainya wanya ko oranyara ko nireti kwa chenira kwa nara ka ira ka kenyara kora kwanyara ka ko nireti ka ara kwa nira ka nyara wa ko aewa ya. So we transition from the growling and the gurgling sounds of the dragon. There are many who can be fearful of these noises and these deep, shall we call them, right from the root of the being when they get channeled. We also recognize that oftentimes our energy, the way it wants to present itself, does not come through as, and I say our, referring to the dragons, does not come through as easily to the vocal cords of those that are channeling us. And so we do pull back our energy to some extent as we're connecting, working with human beings to once again work on the love connection. Because it really is the love that must be obtained and maintained in order for the trust to continue on. Not all, as you have said and mentioned in your discussion earlier, trust the dragons, because not all dragons are necessarily trustworthy, as are the humans. Not all are necessarily trustworthy. But those that are working closely with the dragons and with the dragon realms have shown themselves, have proven themselves, and had lives within the dragonhood, within the clans, within the family, have either been dragons themselves or have been telepathic or empathic or psychic to work with the dragons, to have better understanding back in the day of medieval times. You would bring this back as the 1500s through the 1800s was probably the prime centuries. Does this mean that we have gone from these timelines? No, we still exist. The same as you exist, as we are all in the now. And I am coming to you as Shinara. I am a golden dragon. The magic resides within me. The healing resides within me, as within this being, as we are one. Many of you are working on your oneness at this time. Many of you are connecting in with the galactic realms at this time. And many of you are still questioning, doubting the sincerity of the information that you're gleaning or hearing. There is so much that is not truthful. Some of the writings are not necessarily translatable as you translate. These words are for your ears and your heart, and not necessarily the verbal words of the translation of energy. I know that this makes sense to your minds. I am open to your questions.
Okay, Leela has the first question. Go ahead, Leela.
Hi, blessings. Where do you live? Yeah, golden dragon, do you live in the
Galactic. I am a galactic dragon. I am out and about in the galaxies.
all over? So you don't have a one particular place?
No.
Or is that secret? I know. Got it. So, I don't know if it's possible for you to access the spirit of Himalayas on Gaia and ask the Himalayas if they have a message for me or anything.
They are asking you for your healing energy to be sent there. There are other beings besides the dragons who are there that are wanting to have your energy be shared if you are open to it. This is an opportunity for you to connect with your heart to not only the dragons, but more of the elemental realms and the elemental beings. So this is for your consideration.
Yes, it is already planned to do healing for the Himalayas. So are you saying that I should do, besides the Himalayas, focus also on the dragons who living under?
The dragons and the other beings.
Like humans or animals, everything.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
You catch my drift.
Yes, that's perfect, because I did plan for, that's why I'm asking, because that is one of my plans for the next year, the Himalayas. But now I know I should put more additional focus on the other beings, what you just said. The second question is, if in my dragon form, what kind of magician am I? And maybe I am not a magician. I know I know that I have a magic wand.
Who you are.
I know who I am. I know
who you are. Do not.
I know very well who I am. But the problem is that I never ask that question, and I do not speculate like humans do. I rather ask question before I speculate about my own existence. And because
as you know, many of your missions are not to be known. And for me to share it here is not really the appropriate outlet, shall we say, for this information to come through.
Absolutely.
However, you know that you have healing magic. You know that you can speak with other beings. You know that you have astral travel. You know that you have third eyesight and telepathic abilities. This is just to scratch the surface.
Do all humans speak dragon languages in astral?
If they desire,
So they have the
it is a
abilities.
choice.
So that means every human in astral, if they want to speak any language, including the dragon languages, they can do it.
If you are traveling in astral, you are traveling multidimensional. More than likely, if you are traveling multidimensional, you are working with the dragon.
Yes. But that is not about myself. It is about every other human.
Well, 1 and 1 equals 2.
Right. That means everybody. Okay.
If you are astral traveling multidimensionally, not just staying within your earth plane, because you can stay within your own dimension and astral travel. If you are going to multiple dimensions through and within and throughout portals, there are laws, and these laws must be followed. There are gatekeepers, and these gatekeepers assist with travel.
That's
And
fascinating. That's
time.
fascinating. Golden dragon. That is amazing. So do I travel multidimensional in astral?
Of course.
I know. I just remember about the sun. Yeah. Well, thank you, because I don't want to take the time from everybody else, but I really like you.
Thank you. My blessings and my honor to speak with you this evening. Dragon
My
Priestess.
blessings. My blessings to you, my love.
Thank you. Thank you for those beautiful messages, Shinara. So Karina has a question that in 2012, she helped to rescue a dragon that was stuck in a piece of Chinese furniture. He was stuck there for 4 centuries. His name is Exor, E-X-O-R. She wonders if you can find out what happened to him. Thank you.
He is avoiding wood. He is enjoying his freedom. He still roams the earth, but travels as he desires, slightly fearful that he may be entrapped somehow. With the freedom that you have provided, you have a connection, and so you may call on him at any time, sending your love and asking questions and reconnecting with yourself.
Okay, wonderful. And then Martha has a question. Go ahead, Martha.
Hi. Here where I live, I have been for quite some time. There's a particular area that I have been asked to help heal. And it's an ancient, an ancient thing that happened that I was a part of. And I was told recently that this particular area has been healed, but I keep being drawn back there, and I keep meeting people that are involved with it. So I'm just asking, what shall I do next?
If you are feeling called to continue to go there to send healing, it is that they are asking you to recharge with the light. Because as others go there who are not doing healing work or bringing their own light to share, they may be, I don't want to use the word contaminating the space. However, they may be bringing their own lower frequencies with them, known to them or not. And so the space likes your vibration. The elemental beings are there and also are connecting with you, as you are aware. between the earth and the rock people and the fairies and the gnomes and the sylphs, the water beings that are nearby, the dragonflies and the other beasts of the air. They know you, and since they know you, this is your draw to go back. However, it is always your choice to select new locations, try something new, and then go back to the comfort and assist as you may desire. The salamanders will assist you with their fire if you like.
Well, looks like that's all the questions in the chat. Does anybody else in the group have any questions that they would like to ask?
I do have a question if nobody has.
I think Wilma waved her hand, so I don't know if that means she has a question. Oh, you're on mute, Wilma. You're on mute. Wilma, you're on mute.
Sorry, I pressed it. I'm terrible on my phone. I usually do
Wow.
Zoom meetings on my
Okay.
computer.
But I'll
Um,
circle back with you, Leela.
Okay.
So a couple of questions I would like to ask of Shara, if I can. My dragon Zeb, I believe him to be a galactic dragon. Could she either please confirm or correct me on that? And may I please ask for some more information about him, please?
As you know, the galactic dragons tend to be on more secretive missions. And so Zip is galactic. The galactic dragons do work between different races, so to say. There are still many challenges within the galactic realms, as many of you are aware. There are many meetings that occur, many councils. And the dragons often will I don't want to say be outsiders, but the work that they do is more tied into source. And so, although they have clans, they also have directives through the clans for the work that they need to do. So my recommendation to you, dear one, is to focus on your connection with source and then ask for your connection with Zip to be stronger so that you will have a better understanding. If it is meant to be known at this time. My apologies, this channel is wearing.
No apologies. There was one question Leela had about if you are male or female, and I think from previous discussions that you have both energies.
I am androgynous, but Many feel me as female and many feel me as masculine. Today I come with more of a masculine energy. However, I typically come to this one in more of a feminine energy, but today, due to the questions being asked, the more masculine energy needed to come forward. So that's how I present myself today.
And one more bit of clarification for myself. I believe in previous discussions with you that you are part of the Juice Ray collective of Venus, J-U-S apostrophe, Just Ray, J-U-S-R-A-Y, I think, and that you are a Golden Dragon collective.
That is correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Leela, did you need any further clarification before?
I wanted to ask one question. What qualities are you seeking in a dragon partner? What would you really like to have in a
Love.
partner?
It is love. You must love yourself. You must love others. You must love. Pardon me.
Popped right out.
Popped right out, literally. Okay, then. I mean, I knew I was like struggling to keep her energy right. I say her because usually she comes as a her to me. I knew I was struggling to like hang on to her energy. She just burped right out of me.
Pop goes the dragon.
Like pop goes weasel. Oh well, there you go. You just never know what's going to happen when you're channeling.
Yes, for sure.
Well, thank
right.
you guys. I need some water.
That's fine.
But you know, it is interesting how she answers, because usually when we humans look for a partner and looking for qualities, we will not say love, because that is like a very global
Yeah.
term.
But there's an energy to it. Just like if you think of the polar opposite of that.
I understand, but average person, and I'm talking about humans, do not have a concept what love is. So when you say, if you will say a human to human, what qualities do I seek? And I would say to a human, love, they will not know what is it.
Yeah, I don't
That's
disagree
very,
with you.
very different level.
I feel like with the dragons, like my sense of their energy is that because they have that telepathic ability, and that they're at a higher level than we are already, frequency wise. And I don't know if this ever happens to you, but like you can read the frequency and you'll be like, oh, that's a fairy around me, or oh, that's a gnome around me. Like you may not hear the name, but you get the sense of the frequency. And if there's beings that you're connecting with on a regular basis, then, like if you're working with Archangel Michael, or any of the archangels, Archangel Raphael, there's a certain energy and a feeling that comes with that. So there's an energetic signature. And I think that that's what was trying to be conveyed. But to me, that translation and that energetic translation comes out with the word love. So that was my only way. I've also had, for example, I've also had where I've worked with like priestesses, like princes, like so higher, but it always translates in my brain as king or queen, and they're not necessarily, that's not necessarily their position. So that's happened to me a couple times too. So that's just where I am on my channel. So
the answer was on very high level. If somebody understands what love is, I was just comparing. I was just comparing the answer.
Yeah,
how
very
human will talk if they ask what quality you seeking in a partner. So that is fascinating. very global universal answer what you cannot find on this earth.